Welcome to America's Mayor Live. I'm glad I'm here because I wasn't sure I was over with the other one right before it, the Rudy Giuliani show on Frank's. So I hope you're here and I can continue my thought. I was talking about the Kennedy uh, race because it's one of the last times, if not the last time. No, no, no. Nixon is the last time a president resigned. But we were thinking of a president that resigned this late in the game, and that was Johnson. Johnson resigned in March or so of the election year. Now we're already in July. You could almost say a very different period, really. I mean, there's a big difference in an election, in a presidential election between March and we're 1 week before the Republican convention, and what 2 or 3 weeks before the Democratic convention. So, and we essentially have our candidates. It's not one of those contested situations. So, Johnson would have been the candidate had he run, but it would have been a very, very nasty, vicious, difficult convention, no doubt about it. Uh, Largely because of the Vietnam War. So here we are, and we have a lot of people now accumulating around. When I say a lot, it's still not enough to take them down. We have from here and there some pretty powerful people saying he should step down. So you would consider Nadler. Hard for me to consider Nadler a powerful person. I remember him, when he was a 700-pound, 2'2" member of the city council. But and also I remember him lying as part of the impeachment committee, and then really lying as part of the January January 6th committee to the point of being a criminal. But he wants him down. He had a group of three other congressmen who look equally as miserable as he is, who want him down. And they all want him down because they hate Trump. We know that the whole media has turned on Biden. Most of the media has turned on Biden because they don't think he can beat Trump. They kind of slowed down the polling a little, maybe to hope that things straighten out a little for him. They're going to have a hard time walking back their statements. Today on Joe Scarborough, Joe looked like Mika has beaten him. I mean, she looked like she took him in the bathroom and just beat the crap out of him.
Stay tuned for some clips, Mayor. We're getting those queued up.
Brought him out and then let Joe he claimed to be on vacation for a couple of days without her. That's always the sign in a marriage that things are going really well when you go on vacation without your wife, right? Either she sent you on vacation without your wife, or you went on vacation without your wife, or I don't know. He didn't talk about having a hunting trip scheduled with the boys for the 4th of July weekend. And of course, I don't think Joe would be allowed to hunt. Mika would not allow him. He used to be, I mean, he is from northern Florida. You would think he is a hunter. Well, was a hunter. Mika wouldn't allow him to be a hunter. No. Oh, there they are. There's the group of, looks like, they look kind of like the FBI agents who got caught lying, don't they? I don't know who they are, so don't get insulted. I don't know who you are. But you're all against Biden being a president, which, is not because, please, let's not people think it's because you're patriots. You weren't a couple of days ago when he was just as senile as the guy on the left is. There on the top. I mean, that guy, I don't even know how he's walking around. But in any event, weighed down by so many lies and so much skullduggery. And the Biden campaign is just sinking and sinking and sinking. And now they've got a new leader. This is the undisputed leader of the campaign is, there he is. There's the leader of the pack telling Joe what to do now, finally. I mean, he's been supplying half the money. Don't you think you get the right to do this when you've given half your salary to your father for 30 years? Do you know that he gave half his salary to his father for 30 years? Do you know that? And if you don't know that, it's because you live in a country that is not a country with free speech. Once again, did you know that he has admitted to giving his father half his salary, his, Hunter's, for the last 30 years? Do you know that so that you could tie it into the kind of work he's been doing for the last 30 years and see whether it looks like a bribe to his father, as his father acknowledged on tape in front of the Atlantic Council or the foreign policy big shots who love to have cocktail parties. Once again, do you know that he gave half of his, which we counted, he collected about 51 million in the last 30 years. Do you realize that he gave half of that to his father, according to him, in a text? Well, he's now in charge, and I say anyone who says he shouldn't be is not counting the money. He's the money guy. He produced all the money. Well, James got a nice big chunk in when he got a $1.5 billion contract in Iraq when Joe was the point man for Iraq. But when Joe was the point man for Ukraine, they made only about 12 million from the crookedest guy in Ukraine. But when he was point man from China, they got another 1.5 billion. Uh-huh. So now, do you know what they're calling Hunter? This point man thing, every time the Biden family has been a point man, America has gotten royally screwed. You can't believe it. Like when they made him head point man for Iraq, he was supposed to negotiate the status of forces agreement. The status of forces agreement meant that the Iraqis, after all we did for them, were going to allow us to keep American troops there, a small number, like we preferred to do in Afghanistan. And they would give them immunity from Iraqi prosecution, which honestly meant Iranian prosecution, because the Iranians, to a very large extent, would often come in and control their justice system. It's kind of like ours, that's controlled by the Democrat Party and is completely unfair and unjust. So we wanted immunity from prosecution for Americans. In other words, American soldiers, instead of being tried by the foreign country that might have animosities toward us, American soldiers would be tried by a court martial. Now, this I don't know that an American has never been able to work this out. An American diplomat. This is usually what we call pro forma, but not for the man who has never gotten anything right in foreign policy, according to his co-cabinet member Gates. He couldn't get us the status of forces agreement, which was quite significant because we weren't allowed to keep our troops behind. And oh gosh, Soleimani and the Iranians with the Quds Force came in and killed thousands of people, a couple of thousand Americans, a couple of thousand Iraqis, more than a couple of thousand Iraqis, and thousands of Iranians didn't agree with them. Now, Soleimani was a mass murderer and only able to do what he did because of Biden's ineptitude. So Biden failed in his mission for the U.S. But on the point man side, it was a good day for the Biden family, because James, who knew nothing about housing, got about a third of a $1.5 billion housing deal in Iraq. Good job for the family. bad job for the U.S. A lot of people killed, but that's okay. Biden families always gets a lot of people killed. Then we had Ukraine. He was the point man for Ukraine. He was supposed to stop the Russians. Well, they just continued. He never even got arms to the Ukrainians. They didn't get arms until Trump came in. It was again, it was like he wanted them to win the war, but wouldn't give them anything to win the war with, because he didn't want to really offend the Russians, because he's making money from them too. Also, he was supposed to. This is a joke. He was supposed to reduce corruption in Ukraine. Oh, well, that Obama is such a joker. Such a funny man. He puts Obama in charge of reducing corruption. And he puts and he walks away with about 10 mil. I wonder how many other Democrats Obama made money in Ukraine. How about you? How about you? You're leading a real good life. How'd you become a billionaire so fast? You allowed Obama to screw around right in front of your face. You didn't take a little for yourself, and the woman who hated America until you became president. Bet she doesn't like it anymore now. You're not the president. Well, are you the president? I don't know. Well, in any event, that one he was point man, and America got screwed. Family got millions. China, whoa, point man for China, 1.5 billion in the financial company, which included Whitey Bulger's nephew. Whitey Bulger's nephew. These are things you don't know because you don't watch my show enough. They don't tell you that anywhere else, right? No, they for some reason they have a soft spot for Whitey Bulger. They all do. Even the conservative news media has a soft spot for Whitey Bulger. They have a soft spot for Hunter giving half his salary to his old man too. They don't tell you that. Somehow they don't want to believe that that's true. Hunter just texted it to his daughter. It was like a little joke between him and his daughter. Also, maybe that explains the 50 grand in rent he was paying his father for his own house. See, like that's how you launder it to him. Wow. So he's going to go out. He's going to go out, I believe, like this. We can throw him out like this. They're going to have to, I don't know. It's going to be really embarrassing taking her out. I hope there are no pictures of it. First stepmother. I just don't want to disappoint her and tell her you're not going to be on Vogue after your first stepmother. They really didn't put you on there for your beauty. They really didn't. It's kind of a joke among all of us that you're on there, but I don't know. It can be tough for you, first stepmother, when you're not stepmother. What's going to happen when you want to meet Navy and the kid doesn't want to meet you? Because you wouldn't put her her stocking up at Christmas because you're such a mean old stepmother. And you haven't met her yet. Like some reason you're not meeting your step granddaughter.
So you stick with your prediction, Mayor, that Joe Biden will not be the nominee
Joe Biden will not be the nominee
by November?
He will not be the nominee. I don't think there's going to be a graceful exit because I don't think this crime family is capable of a graceful exit. I believe somebody's going to have to do something really tough to get them out. They'll eventually do it because they're not only is I mean I think I'm God willing they've blown the presidency already. They're on the verge of they've blown the Senate and they've blown the presidency. They're on the verge of blowing the House. Here's what they could blow. They could blow the next 20 years. I think this could have implications much greater than Watergate because I think the corruption is much deeper than Watergate. And I think if they keep it up, the taste for and the desire to have it all come out will just overwhelm. And then Republicans, even if they wanted to avoid it, couldn't. So I think, if I were their lawyer, which I can't be, they disbarred me. I would just say, get it over with. This is not going anyplace good. You're better off with Kamala and losing than you are sticking to Joe. Because if you stick with Joe and he eventually has to go, it's going to be really nasty. And if we get down into the election, man, we're going to bring everything out. I mean, everything goes in this election. I mean, you're going to find out about all the rest of the files. And I mean, somebody's got to tell Zelensky, from now on, you want money, you're going to have to fess up with all the corruption, huh? Because we're getting tired of sending money to a country where you guys are stealing the money, and we know you are. So cut out the bullshit, Well, we're going to take a short break while everybody gets ready for cutting out the bullshit. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders. So you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at rudy.coffee. I want them. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're gonna take a look at a couple of those, a little bit of that video about Joe on Morning Joe. But let's just take a quick look at the French left. Kind of pulled it off after it looked like the right was going to win. And then the left had a violent protest. We showed some of that to you the other night, burning things down, and kind of like the left does. I mean, they love to burn when they have protests, like Black Lives Matter always burns when it has a protest. Forget all this stuff about, happy protest, they always burn. So I don't know if they scared France or what happened, but they kind of won. They kind of beat Le Pen's party, and they were not supposed to be the majority party. Macron will still lose control of parliament, which means that the right-wing parties are going to have a lot more control than they had before. But the new Popular Front, which is all left-wing parties, will have control of France. So it'll be as silly and as stupid and as idiotic and as useless and as working 30 hours a week and as unproductive and as useless to a new revived EU as possible. And who knows where it'll be on anti-Semitism. They're frightened as hell of all of the Muslims they let in. On immigration, they are supposedly of one mind, but they're afraid to be of one mind. And it looks like they can easily be controlled by a violent riot. Of course, they are the country that I told Trump, if you want to win a war quick, just invade. Say you're going to invade France, and Macron will just, he'll just give up and turn the country over to you. They would fight. They have no principles. When they had some point or other. So New York now has 36% of its shelters in the borough of Queens. Queens is overwhelmed with migrant alien crime due to the fact that the mayor offers them more in New York than any place else. He's just begun a new debit card program for illegals. Notice I said debit card program for illegals, not for veterans, not for poor homeless Americans, for illegal aliens from now 100 different countries who we don't know who they are, of which some for sure are being let out of jail and prison and seem to be raping and murdering and focusing on women and children. So the Democrat mayor of New York, um, I think, kind of trying to outdo the wacky, incompetent, pro-criminal Democrat mayors of other cities, wants to go one step further and is going to give them even more money because he started his debit card program as a pilot program, which I didn't know it was a pilot program. He's now concluded that the pilot program worked and he's expanding it dramatically. So basically, it's the entire city. If you want to look here, these are all the places you can go and get money. He doesn't want you to travel too far if you're illegal, so you can get your money quick. This is like this is like when he threw out the veterans from the nice shelters to put them in the nice shelters. And these were shelters that that would never have been made available to American homeless. They're too nice. Here they are. So he thinks these are people coming into the Statue of Liberty in 1910, like with their little bag, and they want to be shoemakers, and they want to be tailors, and they want to be seamstresses, and they'll do anything. They'll do anything to work. He started a work program. Man, it'd be a great work program. Started it going, he got only 5% that wanted to work. And they didn't last long. When you ask them, are you coming in here to work? You get very few that say yes. They look at you like, what are you, crazy? Nobody told us that. What do you offer them money for to come to New York, you jackass? Why? They're killing people here. They're stealing. They're stealing. They're stealing telephones and Transder Algra has started a whole new gang stealing cell phones, expensive $1,000, $2,000, $500 cell phones, stealing the money out of it that they can get, sending it off to Nicaragua. You got to be a hero. You know, you're never going to match my records for reducing crime in New York, Adams, but you might. Your record for reducing crime in Venezuela might be higher than mine. It's really down in Venezuela. Now he's probably reduced it a little because he's getting really piggy. That's the communist dictator of Venezuela, Maduro. He's sending over the criminally insane. So that doesn't reduce the crime numbers much. But I think, it probably saves him more money. He may have no, the interesting thing is when they put in the reports for insane people in Venezuela, they may beat them because they may be all in Queens. I think when the UN wants to measure insane people in Venezuela, they should come to New York and just see how many have been let out of insane asylums. And do you know when Trump tells you that, he's 100% right? And not only that, he's got as his source somebody that was there when it happened the last time, me. I was there or I was there in the aftermath of Castro doing this to Carter. It's exactly what he did. It's exactly what Maduro's doing. And not only that, I'm watching, and I can tell you, it hasn't gotten to that stage yet, but it can get there. The other ones are following suit. They're not just from Venezuela now. Look, I mean, we haven't gone through because of this Biden thing now for a couple of days, the whole list of illegal alien rapists and murderers. But they don't just come from Venezuela anymore. They're coming from Ecuador, El Salvador, Haiti. The Chinese, I don't know if they come in here for that. They come in here to spy. Now, if they didn't come here to spy, that'd be stupid. Yeah. I mean, it's like he sent him a note. Dear Mr. Z, please send your people in here to spy. I've made it easy for them to come in because we only asked them 4 questions. I'm not allowed to give you the questions in advance, but I think they could handle 4. And we don't check on whether they're true or false. This is like when he allowed the balloon to go around for the Chinese, and he called Mr. Z at the end when they got off the shore of North Carolina, and he said, Mr. I think he calls him Mr. Z, and Mr. Z has told him that dodo is a Chinese word, so he calls him Dodo. So he says, Mr. Z, yes, Dodo, and Dodo says, uh, have you taken has our Air Force allowed you access to everything you wanted to see? Oh, yes, yes. We've had a good 12 days. I really appreciated having had 3 days to hover over one of the fields where we had to get very, very intense photographs to spy on your most modern technology. But we got a good shot of that, Dodo. Thank you. And he said, and you have no one. I mean, this is a drone without any humans on it. Correct, correct, correct. And you have transferred already all of the videos. Highest quality transferred. Oh my goodness, you should be very proud of how clear these are. I mean, we can go right down and see the little nuts and bolts. Anything you'd like to review before, would you like to go back, I mean, to any of our facilities and see what you need, to understand exactly how to reproduce what we're doing? Oh, of course not. I've got everything. Well, then, for purposes, you want to see me get reelected so you can continue this stealing from us. You might get that guy Trump again, no, no. He no want him. He no like him. He make believe he like me. I no like him. I make believe I like him. He he makes me pay a tariff. You say there's a tariff, but you don't make me pay. Don't worry, we'll take care of you afterwards. Who knows? He could be taking care of him now in the offshore bank accounts put together by Zelensky's banker, Privat Bank. The guy who made Zelensky is the crook who did all the money laundering, including for the Bidens. Well, you didn't know that. Gee, I wonder why. A lot of covering up going on here. Now Trump has been getting a little more. Trump and a lot of Trump now is very, very smart, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Donald J. Trump, you're a sly one. Man, you really learned this business, I'll tell you. At a level so far, I don't know, maybe Reagan, maybe Roosevelt. Hmm? I'm talking not just about inspiration of the country. I'm talking about learning this business. Got to be everybody in this country's got to be enormously admiring of how you are sitting back and you're showing discipline. You're showing what it takes to get this country through what we're going to need. It can take discipline. It's going to take a man who has great strength and knows how to use it in a very, very intelligent and mature way. This is brilliant. Not only that, you've got your people under control. He doesn't. The people go nuts. And your people would normally be going nuts because we got them in a corner right now. I mean, we could just slam them every day, every day, every day. And all we do is emphasize what he says. Because that we got to make sure we do, because otherwise it might not get emphasized. But we're not like all out going after him right now. In fact, I guess we're divided, aren't we? I don't mean divided as a group, divided in emotion, right? We're divided from our partisan instincts, which say to us, Man, we want to run against him. Please. Well, you're going to take away the best anti-candidate, as opposed to our country, which says to us, um, I've always believed you cannot put a person who's dangerous to this country in either one of the two positions, Republican or Democrat, because there's no way he can become president is be Republican or Democrat, and nobody that's dangerous should be in either position. And he's dangerous. He should be out. Should have been out last time. He should be out now. Do I think Kamala Harris is dangerous? I know, yeah, I probably do. But is it the same? No. Is it the same? I don't know. She confounds me. I don't know what's wrong with her. There's definitely something wrong with you. You don't talk like that unless there's something wrong with your head. Uh, but is she as dangerous as him? No. And look, we're confronted with it one question at a time, aren't we? He's the guy with the hand on the button right now, and he's really dangerous, and he's really irresponsible, and he really doesn't have the. He fits the definition unfit to serve as president. The tragedy is she comes real close, but she's the number two in line, so she gets it right away. But I guess it's for a short enough period, and I don't think it's as fatally unfit as she is. I mean, I do admit it's a tough one, and politically, it's a tough one for the Democrats because um, I do think even now Trump beats her by more than anybody else who runs against her beats her by more than they beat Biden. But that might be changing a bit. I mean, they are. You can see some of them, right, Ted, getting behind her now, right?
Right.
They're kind of like trying to make up for years of treating her like a baboon, right?
Yep, that's right.
Um, so Trump's security plan for the border is pretty much laid out, right? And it would when you consider he would immediately begin rebuilding the wall, which everybody universally agreed on 15 years ago. I mean, it isn't really even controversial. If you just want to put aside the bad period of the Democrat Party, like when they supported slavery or were against the civil rights bill or just acted against the national interest because they hated Trump, Democratic Party supported the wall. Some of the biggest supporters were Schumer, Biden, Pelosi. We could put you've seen them. I don't have to put the maybe at some point in this campaign we'll do it, but I don't have to put out the we need a wall. Trump's in favor of a wall. A wall is xenophobic, racist. What does xenophobic mean? Joe, don't worry, just say it. Xenophobic. And he even said it. You know, the good thing about that is he actually can say it. He can say xenophobic. Wow. I wonder if you can read it. I'm going to try that sometime. That could be part of his. That could be part of his cognitive test. Well, Title 42 says that we can send back anybody the president wants who's entered illegally. So I think the president's going to want to send them all back. What do you think? Now there'll be challenges to that, legal of various kinds, but a good deal of it will hold. Some of it may be slowed down. Some of it there may be humanitarian exceptions, although there are none written into the law, and you just can't make up humanitarian exceptions. And with the courts somewhat, I mean, I would think even the weaker conservatives here aren't going to have a problem with this because it is the law, and the other is just mishy-mashy, silly emotion that has gotten us into such terrible trouble and has gotten women raped and children killed. And you would think that Let's put it this way. He will, in very short order, be able to control the border because he has a highly, highly skilled, very, very motivated group of Border Patrol who have been treated like animals. Consider the ones who were falsely accused of whipping people. Disgraceful. And just a little reorganization. I think even before the increase in numbers, I saw that when I handled the NYPD. The minute you bring back morale, wow, they do miracles for you. All he's got to do is go down there and tell them how much he loves them, how much he cares for them, how he'll never double cross them the way that bum did. I got your back. That's it. That's the word. I got your back. And they'll know he means it. They worked for him for 4 years. It's not, it's going to be funny. They probably believe him anyway because they want to believe somebody. When cops or law enforcement or military people have been treated like that, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. In other words, if Trump were new now and went down there and said the right words, until he double crosses them, which he wouldn't, they'll be with him. I know that. The easiest thing to turn around is going to be law enforcement and the military. Not going to be easy. They infiltrated the military with a lot of woke crap. And you got to clean it out because some of them are wearing those big stars and they're not worth the leather they're printed on. They're a bunch of paper pushers. Go look for the guys that are doing the fighting, not the guys pushing the paper. Always been like that in the military, but it's probably much worse now because the paper they're pushing is anti-American. Like how do we get free mutilation of our genitals in the military, right? I mean, we got military guys that really believe in free mutilation of the genitals. I think maybe a little cleaner out's got to be done. But what I'm trying to say is that's going to be the easiest thing to do because they are a military organization. They respond to command and they respond to patriotism. And they don't start thinking patriotism is all inhumane and indecent and fascist and Naziist. And like I'm a Nazi because I have the American flag behind me. Like hell I do. That's the flag that defeated Nazism. I'm not confused about it. That's the flag that defeated communism without firing a shot until you bastards let it back. I'm not, that's nothing fascist about that flag. That's all democratic. Small d or big D when you were a good party. So I think we're going to have lots of expedited removal. Let's put it that way. I think you're going to see the Alien Enemies Act used. I wrote a paper on this for the president a long time ago in 2015, 2016 with a great judge that helped with the program that kept out that was attacked as racist and because it created much more burdens for people to come in here from dangerous countries. You think maybe that makes sense? I do. If you do, we could be friends. Or at least I could have respect for your intellect. How's that? And the number of Democrats lining up behind Kamala is pretty damn strong. And now to turn to a few other things quickly. The Houthis are attacking again, big time, and we're doing very little again, big time. So maybe somebody's got to kick, not Biden in the backside. Who knows what would happen if you kicked him in the backside? He'd probably fall over from that chair you saw there. But kick one of the kiss-ass generals in line. Navy Admiral James Stavridis, who's retired, put out a paper explaining what should be done against the Houthis, which would eliminate them. I mean, what? Bibi wants to eliminate Hamas. Why? Because Hamas wants to eliminate the Israelis. Now, I'm president of the new land, okay? And you say to me, this is like a law school or political science school question here. You say to me, there's the bad land, another country, and they are committed to destroying my people. I'm the new land, they're the bad land, and they want to destroy my people. And people from the bad land came into my country and killed 1,200 of my men, women, and children. And they had a plan to go after my civilians only. And this is like the fourth time they had violated the ceasefire. And they have 50 years of training their people to kill my people, as well as the American people, who are another big group of people that are our allies. And I say, well, this is time now for me. Until they give up their desire to eliminate me, I got to eliminate them before they eliminate me. So that group that wants to eliminate me, I got to find them. I got to kill them to protect my people. Now, I don't know any other way to lead a country and protect its people, unless you want them to be targets forever. And I can't imagine electing anybody to being president of this country to understand that. And Biden doesn't understand that. He's constantly interfering with Bibi in his attempt to win the war. The other strange thing is he's constantly interfering with his co-conspirator in who the hell knows what in Ukraine, Zelensky, and winning the war. He won't let him win because he's afraid of what Russia will do. So what are we in any of these? What the hell are we doing in any of these things? Is it for constant war? I don't think Israel will be constant war because the Israelis won't put up with it because they don't, his don't in Israel is about as effective as his don't to the Russians or his don't to the Afghanis or his don't to the Iranians. Bibi looks at him and goes, hey, okay, squirt. I'll do what I have to do to protect my people. But he does have control of us and what we do. What happens if Z says, particularly during this transition between him and, let's say, Kamala, Russia is a big country and Ukraine is a small country. What happens during that transition if Z says, good time to hit Taiwan? Well, let's see what happens. I got to do it eventually. Let's see what they do. What do you think they would do, Ted?
I mean,
they should do this. You know, at the Reagan Library, they have a portion shared with the Bush Library, Bush 41, I guess. I think maybe 43. Oh, maybe 43. I'm not sure. I think it's 43. They have part of the Situation Room. Each one is half, and so they used to do exercise. They did one exercise there on the shooting of Ronald Reagan, which I participated in and helped them to develop.
oh wow!
But they do other things. They recreate other historic. They do Benghazi. They do for students. You live through it. You play. You play Reagan, or you play. Or I guess you wouldn't play Reagan in the shooting. You play Bush, or you play Haig, or you play Caspar Weinberger, or whatever. The students, and then they change around the students, and they let them do different things and make different choices, and they play out the whole thing. They have it's a game or a test, whatever you want, or teaching.
Yeah.
They should do one on. Of course, I know the military has done this. I don't know if Dodo Bird has participated in it. If they've done a tabletop on Taiwan, you get the call. He goes to bed. I don't know why. He needs more sleep now. I guess he wouldn't respond for about 4 or 5 hours until they could wake him up, right?
Yeah. First off, yeah, you'd be late. You'd be late.
Taiwan has been attacked. Most of these things he doesn't respond for 3-4 days.
Yeah.
what he took like 4 or 5 days to say something about October 7th.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, didn't have much to say about that. But I mean, suppose they attack Taiwan. What's he going to do?
That's a very good, and you're
What's he
right
gonna do?
about your concern about this happening between a transition period. I mean,
You think it's decided already? It should be.
I have a
I mean, it
these
should be.
other
No, no.
countries, yes. These other countries have a plan in place if Trump wins on November 7th for between November and January. You bet of course, Russia, China, our other adversaries, they have two, right? They have two courses of action. 4 more years of Biden where they can just run free,
Yeah.
or we got to pack it all in 2 months because Trump's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I would think Formosa is the one. Formosa is the one that's the most pressing, because the others are all marginal. Meaning, Russia knows it's a long-term effort to stretch its borders further, and it's irritated Europe a lot, and I don't think it wants to irritate Europe some more. So I don't think. Look, I could be wrong, but I don't think, except for trying to grab a little extra land, which he may, meaning meaning going a bit north, Putin. I don't think you're going to see a major thing from Putin. You're going to see some expansion of territory, so he's in a better bargaining position. I don't think Iran is ready for a major attack, particularly with their change in president right now. And they selected a moderate. They wouldn't have allowed the selection of a moderate, I don't think, if they were going to go to war the way when they picked Raisi, they knew they had to get much more aggressive. So I think the one risk left is Z, and it's very tempting to make a move on, in the confusion we have going on, to make a move on Taiwan, and Taiwan doesn't have the other supporters like Europe that that Ukraine had. So it's mostly us, maybe the French, but boy, they're in a state of complete confusion. Maybe some of Europe, maybe. Strangely, but I don't know if they'd step up. There'd be a tremendous amount of consternation about it in the Philippines, Australia. Australia would step up immediately with military. And it even could be in some of our former enemies like Vietnam and Cambodia, and who are very afraid of China, who we have not done a good job of utilizing as allies, and Japan. They would all lean on us to do something, but not with the power and strength that Europe could, or NATO. I don't know what he would do. I think he would have to defend them, I think. But, I've thought a lot of things he had to do that he didn't do. It would certainly not be a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And what were the people who are really calling the shots now? What would they do?
Well, I think the generals would say he's got to intervene quickly, and he's got to stop it. And
Blinken.
What?
Blinken or General or what? Austin.
Blinken would hide somewhere. Blinken would hide behind his skirt, his mother's skirt.
They say he's one of the people in that tight inner circle. Some reports are saying he's part of that list.
Go further into the inner circle. The other guy would probably go in the hospital and say, "I'm sick."
Oh yeah, Lloyd Austin.
Lloyd Austin would be sick and not tell anybody.
Not tell anybody.
Oh, we can't find him. He's in the hospital.
He's not. It's not like he has an important role or anything. Isn't he like a support staff or something?
And then the other guys would say they're too busy working on the mutilation guidelines for exactly when does the military pay for change of sex operation. That they're too busy right now to adjust themselves to Taiwan. I mean, after all, Taiwan has nothing to do with equity, right? Well, how does Taiwan help the expansion of the 58 genders? Right?
Right.
And the fair treatment of all 58. In fact, in Taiwan, they probably don't respect 58 genders. So I don't know. They would say that would become an exception to our sort of, but we do have a weasel agreement with them to defend them. You know that. In order to win over China, so they could double cross us. Um,
Well, what's going to happen at the border?
we don't really have an obligation to defend China, like we do, let's say Poland,
Oh, yeah.
where we
What
sort of
what sort of? Yeah, don't we have any agreement with
no,
like
we have an agreement that
Japan?
we'll decide at the time.
Oh,
We do not have a we do not have an
nothing
agreement like we
triggers an
do with
automatic
NATO. If you
response.
attack a NATO country, we attack. We have a nothing really.
We have
And that thanks to Kissinger and Nixon, which at the time I thought was a mistake.
really.
Continue to think it's a mistake. I think our treatment of Taiwan has been a terrible mistake. And I think we have been totally outmaneuvered, outthought, out brain powered by the Chinese
Well,
since Kissinger and Nixon. And I do say, yes, it's true that they needed to use them to beat Russia, but they also should have not made the same mistake Roosevelt made and fell in love with him. Like Roosevelt fell in love with Stalin. So when we want to accuse Democrats of having caused a Cold War by Roosevelt having fallen in love with Stalin, Nixon and Kissinger have a lot to pay for China, a lot.
would they
The
be?
Chinese, I don't think ever, ever, ever were anything other than disingenuous with us and played those guys like a fiddle. So for how
Would they
smart you think Nixon was, and how smart you think Kissinger was, outthought by them. Don't think it would have happened to Reagan if Reagan had made that deal. He just couldn't undo it. Reagan had much more. Reagan was the last president since Trump to really distrust the Chinese, and then we kicked into Baker, and
Oh gosh.
Baker was a terrible Secretary of State. Baker largely responsible, he and Clinton, for our problems with Arafat by trusting him,
In the Middle East.
and also by going easy on the Chinese. And then instead of the Chinese, we get all involved with the Iraq War and the Iraq this one and the Iraq that one and the Iraq this one.
Meanwhile,
And
the Chinese are building up.
The Chinese are saying, "Yeah, go boys, go boys."
Yeah, go focus over there in the desert.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
yeah, let's see, give us a chance. We're just a bunch of good guys. We're going to have the peaceful rise. Just give us billions for our peaceful rise. And by the way, tariffs that make us rich and make you poor.
and we're gonna steal all your intellectual property.
Yeah, yeah,
We're not paying for it. We're just taking it.
yeah.
And we're gonna manipulate our currency
Bush,
to
I mean,
devalue the dollar.
Bush 41 had a very cozy relationship with China. I mean, he was very, very easy on them during the Cultural Revolution and during the attacks. Very, very easy on them.
That's interesting. Even
Sort of understanding as to why they had to torture their own people.
China sent exchange students to every high school in the country. In my little town of Houghton. And I'm not. We love but we had exchange students from China in
Yeah.
little old Houghton.
Yeah.
And what does that say about they had people everywhere?
And the Chinese had people here ready to turn them anytime they had to against the United States of America, and also getting land near our bases and getting
that
land
map. Yeah.
and getting land near every place that we that we had a military facility. Correct?
Yeah. There's a really good map of that. We gotta find that. Well, that's fascinating. So, should we take a quick break and come back?
We will.
So we'll be right back with more, and we've got some good clips from his
Good.
interview from this morning. Morning Joe with Sleepy Joe.
We're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
And we're back. Welcome back to America's Mayor Live. You're looking at America's Mayor.
Well, it's great to be back with you. It's also very, very interesting to see, if we have it, this morning's, I think Joe was on Joe Scarborough, I'm talking about now, was on forced vacation on Friday morning and Thursday morning. He was on a family vacation, announced for the first time when Mika announced it, when she threw him off after he had his conniption, about Joe Biden, and saying that Joe Biden, he loved Joe Biden, but get the hell off the ticket because you're insane, right? Get the hell off the ticket because you're going to lose to Trump, because you're totally unfit for office. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, and you really, really made a jackass out of yourself during the debate and proved that you don't have a brain. So get off. She disagreed with that. And she apparently is very friendly with the family. And so the next day, all of a sudden, Joe doesn't show up on the show. And she announces that he's taking a family vacation. Not announced the day before. It's the beginning of I think it could have only been one day, because the debate was what? Thursday night? Wednesday night. Wednesday night?
Thursday night.
No, it had to be Wednesday night, I think.
No, was it Wednesday? I think it was a Thursday, but I'll double check.
Take a look.
Yeah. Which, again, though, about a week and a half ago, the debate...
The 27th.
The debate was the 27th. So the 27th would have been Thursday night.
A Thursday night.
Which makes sense for ratings.
How do you like that? Well, then he did his thing, and then she threw him off. So now he's back, right?
He was on this morning. Yep.
Okay, so let's see what happened.
So here's a sampling of this morning's. By the way, it was by phone. We can't really attack him for this. President Trump did a lot of phone interviews, but it is important to point out this is by phone, not on camera.
I was
not going to move away from me as an average voter. And again, I'm here for two reasons, pal. One, to rebuild the economy for hardworking middle-class people, give everybody a shot. Just a straight shot. Everybody gets a fair chance, number one. Number two, remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more. If any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce the president. Challenge me at the convention. The American public is...
We'll come back. Wow.
Joe kept his mouth shut, huh? Did you notice where she leaned over twice and put a hand on him? Did you see that? Oh. Yeah, like, shut your mouth, Joe.
Let him talk.
I'll throw you off the show again. Shut up, Joe.
Let him talk, man. Come on, man.
She even said that the day that he was shooting his mouth off, that Scarborough was shooting his mouth off, she said, we're not going to spin today, which is sort of, she's really a dope, which sort of admits they spin every day, right? Yeah, we're not going to spin today. unlike when we always do, we're not going to spin today. I guess we're not spinning today. We're telling the truth. Biden is insane.
You know what? They could have used Bill O'Reilly's
Yelling and screaming.
the no spin zone. Remember the no spin zone? You weren't allowed to spin when you're in the no spin zone.
Except his spin.
We'll leave it there.
I love Bill, but I mean, okay, nobody else's spin but Bill's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was actually the Bill spin zone.
You know, I understand that. It's sort of like common sense, but still, it's my comment. When I say
Rudy's common sense.
it's common sense. Although I think spin really has more to do with propaganda, and they are propagandists. The two of them, unlike O'Reilly, they are complete propagandists.
They set the tone, right? Morning Joe, he sets the tone for the corporate media, right? The talking points of the day. Start off with Morning Joe. And they, boy, if they, anyway.
I don't see it getting any better for Biden. I do see the change. I see it's Kamala. I think the handwriting's on the wall. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more pro-Kamala stuff.
You think?
I think we're going to start seeing a whole propaganda movement for Kamala. All of a sudden, the nitwit vice president's going to be is going to have been responsible for what? What? Nothing good has happened. What has happened? What has happened?
Can we play a short clip from Shifty Schiff, our good friend Shifty Schiff?
Oh yeah.
And this might be the way. This is. I'd like to hear what.
He's going to get elected to the Senate, isn't he?
Oh God. Well, maybe not. But listen to this, and Mayor, I want to. How do you interpret this, Dr. Maria, and then our listeners too, our viewers, try to make sense out of this clip.
I think rightfully raised questions among the American people about whether the president has the vigor to defeat Donald Trump. And this is an existential race. Given Joe Biden's incredible record, given Donald Trump's terrible record, he should be mopping the floor with Donald Trump. Joe Biden is running against a criminal. It should not be even close, and there's only one reason it is close, and that's the president's age. And what I would say, Kristen, what I would advise the president is seek out the opinions of people you trust. He's obviously talked to his family about this, and that's important. But he should seek out people with some distance and objectivity. He should seek out pollsters who are not his own pollsters. He should take a moment to make the best informed judgment. And if the judgment is run, then run hard and beat that SOB. But the performance on the debate.
And we're back. What did you guys think of that?
I definitely think Schiff was telling him to seek out people to get out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the way he phrased it. He's got mental incompetence.
Well, I mean, you don't hesitate when you're for somebody. We're not going to say,
there's no buts, right?
We love Donald Trump, but we think before he continues to run, he should seek out some other opinions other than his family or staff.
People have been telling him to stay.
In other words, he should seek out some opinions other than people who think he should be running.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Isn't that what the lying bastard is saying?
It's too. I'm sorry.
What he's saying is, and she's letting him get away with it.
That's the part that I don't like.
Aren't you saying he should seek out opinions of people who don't want you to run? Because he already has sought out opinions from people who are telling him to run. So you don't think that's good enough? Yeah, that's not good enough. You're uncomfortable with his running. Why don't you tell the truth, you little squirm? You little shit squirm.
I hope the people of California vote against this and see right through
You
it.
little lying rat.
Yes. This is one of the biggest liars out there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of lying.
The truth, lying rat.
Even tell the
You're
truth.
too afraid to come up here. You're too afraid to come up here and say you don't think you should run.
Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't you just pick a side?
Because you're a damn liar. Also, by the way, could I have the names of the people that Trump talked to in Russia that you claim to have in that piece of paper? Yeah. And how about the whistleblower? Yeah, you don't even have to give me the name of the whistleblower. We know the whistleblower that you lied about. But how can you have accused the president of Russian collusion? Shouldn't you be in jail for that now? You're saying criminal, and you accused the president of the United States of Russian collusion, and it was a false charge against a sitting president? Shouldn't you be in prison, you little squirm? Why don't you stand up so we can see what a tiny little squirm you are, you piece of shit?
I love that pencil neck.
Get up, pencil neck, so I can kick the shit out of you.
With that. Was it
The boss.
pencil neck? Come on, that's
Best
a good
name
one.
caller.
He really is.
Hey, pencil neck.
He really, and it's quick with it too, right? He comes
The
up
kind of guy you could get in trouble with.
hanging out with too much time with him.
No. You punch him in the face.
Oh,
Not the Schiff. Schiff.
oh yeah, shifty shift. Yeah.
Schiff. Wiener. The other guy with the Chinese spy.
Oh, Eric.
Oh, Swalwell.
Swalwell.
What a wise ass he is.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Is he still in?
Yeah, with the Chinese spy.
Yeah.
With the Chinese spy. He's got a goddamn Chinese spy. He's got a Chinese spy working for him, and he's okay. He's on the intelligence committee, and Pelosi keeps him on the intelligence committee. I wonder how many inside information tips he had to give her or her husband.
Pelosi, well, we know she likes her wine. Well,
Man, oh man, oh
and
man.
ice cream. Listen, that is
Good
something.
thing about it, if you really got a chance to investigate them, I bet they're all.
Well, that's what they're afraid of.
Well, I think if they're all afraid of each other because they're all a bunch of inherent little rats.
Yeah, that too. That's exactly right.
You
They
stick
don't
one of
have
them
any
with a
rules, so they think
You
of their.
get one of them on a 20-year count, and they rat on it.
It's like you've dealt with people like this
Yeah,
in the past.
I'm
in like
trying to think
previous
who's
careers of yours.
I think I know the best guy to flip, who would talk like crazy
Really?
to stay out.
Do we want to guess? Can I guess before you say? I was gonna say Schiff. Shifty Schiff, right? Yeah. Look at his
Give
bear.
them all up. And I think I think
So funny. Yeah.
I tell you what, I don't think some of them don't know enough.
Yeah.
Be,
They really are. You
I mean,
little idiot. They're
the
tools.
best one to turn, best one to turn would be Pelosi. But Pelosi's an Italian.
She's got
And
to
think about her father and uncle. Her father and uncle would turn over in their graves if she.
Got to give her some credit. Yeah, she is tough. She's a tough cookie.
Oh, she wouldn't rat.
Yeah. I got to give her that.
Maybe a husband. He got pretty panicked
Yeah. Oh,
with that guy in the house.
to go there. I don't know,
I
but yeah,
can go there because I don't really know what happened with Paul.
we actually got what happened, Paul. But there was some.
Paul got panicked.
I do, but there's some questions
I
outstanding.
don't know.
with that
I don't
story.
know about his background. I know her background, and her background stand-up, babes.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be not hard. I mean, you couldn't get her. You'd have to have a murder rap on her or something. Even then, I think.
She'd find a way out of it. She'd
I
weasel
mean,
her way out.
Pelosi's I can't stand her lack of integrity, but I really admire her loyalty.
I mean, remember when she tore up the State of the Union speech in front of Trump? I hated that moment,
That was
but
a tough thing to do.
a lot of people wouldn't do that.
I mean,
for some reason.
Her in the face.
Would. But let's think about it. If it was one of our people, wouldn't we love it?
Yeah, that's the
I mean,
thing, right? Yeah.
I mean,
Of course.
McCarthy, I would have.
Yeah.
Rio would not like that.
I would.
I would.
If McCarthy did it, he'd be.
Oh,
he'd
he
be
would never. Yeah. If McCarthy did something like that, maybe he would be
this face.
in Washington, right? If he did some more stuff like that, he could have learned from Pelosi a thing or two.
Censor him, but say it's too much. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't keep this. It's too much bullshit.
Yeah. I can't help it.
This is what I do with bullshit.
Especially with Biden's. Biden didn't even write the damn thing. You should be able to write
And
it.
he can't even read it.
Somehow he did. Yeah, that's right. One thing he does well is read off teleprompters.
Not always.
The teleprompter is going to save that man's career.
Not always.
Well, that's a good point.
No.
Actually, you're right. It's actually not as good, but the expectations are so low.
Yeah.
And
then
he gets by, but they're not that good. You're right.
and honestly, he gets bored too, and he goes off. Well,
Yeah.
we're having a lot of fun. I hope you are enjoying it. Is there anything we're missing that we should be talking about right now?
We covered the French elections.
Isn't it amazing? This is the first time for any extended period of time that Trump has been out of the news since the beginning of the year, really, right?
That's
One
a good
way or
point.
another, right?
That's a good point. Since the debate.
Even with the attack in Israel, spreading. Well, that was of course last year. But I'm thinking from the beginning of the year on, it's been all Trump all the time, good or bad, right?
Right.
And this is the first time he's been out of the news. And I do really admire his staying out. Because the longer he stays out, the only thing they can do is pick on Biden. And they have to pick on Biden because they're afraid of him. And Biden is a gift that keeps giving.
And because part of the plan right now.
Because he's got to talk again. Who knows what he's going to say tomorrow? What he's going to say the day after? Who knows if he's going to trip again?
President Trump is taking advice from the debate.
He doesn't go grab a little girl.
President Trump is taking the advice from the debate and just continuing that.
Yeah.
Right. Don't talk. Let Joe, beat himself. And for the past week, not only Joe, but
I really
beat themselves.
I really think the convention should spend just a little bit of time on the substantive failures of the Biden administration, a decent amount of time on the substantive successes of the Trump administration, and then quickly how they're going to apply to the future. In other words, take the 6 things that bother us the most and show us how he's going to fix them based on how he did it in the past. I mean, how's he going to fix immigration? How's he going to fix the wars? How is he going to fix how is he going to fix the economy? But even less on the complaining stuff. Even less on that. He doesn't need it anymore. They're doing enough of that.
The Democrats, now you hear Joe Biden complaining about the elites and the media.
Yeah,
and
I think he should.
It's too funny, right? It's obvious what he's doing.
I think 2 minutes on, I don't think I really have to explain to you that he took over a country that had 1.4% inflation, took it up to 9%. Now we're at 3% and we're going crazy. And you're spending a lot more money on everything than ever. Here's how I'm going to fix it. This is what we're going to do. Put it aside. Don't even think about it. Here's what we're going to do. And then explain how by lowering taxes, you can put a lot more real money back into the economy that isn't going to draw on the Treasury. It'll begin to reduce inflation. It'll begin to reduce inflation in a very, very healthy way. It'll begin to increase real jobs. It'll begin to increase real income. So that when I say to you, you got a 3% increase, it isn't going to be a 3% increase with a 4% reduction for inflation. It'll be 3% real increase. That's all he has to do. Or explain like he did with the Laffer curve, that why is reducing taxes help so much? Because I recovered more money from the lower taxes than I did from the higher taxes. When I took taxes down from 39% to 24% for corporations, I really wanted to take them down to 21%. The corporations made a lot more money. I collected a lot more money, and I was able to do a lot more things. One of the things I'm going to do is take that damn Navy and make it a hell of a lot bigger than China's. I mean, he's got the answers. And more time on those answers, the better. Plus, what is he going to do about Iran? How he's going to stand up to China? How he's going to stand up to Iran?
Russia.
Russia, he's going to have to get both of them to he's going to have to get both of them to agree on what they really want. They don't want endless war. They can't both have what they want, and it's going to have to come to an end. So, having said that, we'll come to an end, and we'll wait. We'll work on tomorrow's show starting now because we want you back. We love that you're part of us. We need you. We need you to make sure that we take this country back from the communists. We're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to have Jack Posobiec back. They're covering it. So we'll be talking about both tomorrow. And of course, who knows? Biden could be gone tomorrow. Kamala Harris could be the candidate. We don't know.
Tick, tick.
It's going to happen.
Tick, tick, tick.
It's going to happen.
You heard it here first. The mayor's been saying that for over a year.
God
not changing his mind now.
God bless the people of Israel. God bless the people of the United States of America. And God bless America, land that I love. Bear the and guide her
from the light to the light
from above,
from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean.
White
with snow.
God
God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Good night, and God bless America. I hope that bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze. We are able to apply